Welcome to Hik Sunt Dragon, here be dragons. This is the first video in the series I'm doing on critical thinking skills. So, I'm going to start off with one of the simplest thinking skills around, Occam's Razor. It's one of my favorite problem-solving rules, and I think one of the most important when it comes to critical thinking. I truly believe it is something that everyone should put into practice on a daily basis. Now, if you're already familiar with Occam's Razor, then I apologize, as this might be fairly redundant, but you might learn something. I'm coming across more and more people that don't know what Occam's Razor actually is, or that think it's a physical weapon of some kind. I'm also increasingly encountering people that have just never ever heard the term before, which is sort of sad. So, first of all, in philosophy, a razor is sort of like a rule for thinking. It's usually a way of getting past all the bullshit really quickly. They got the name Razor because these rules provide a method of shaving away unnecessary assumptions. So Occam's Razor is sort of Occam's rule for quickly finding the most likely answer. Also known as the law of parsimony, Occam's Razor states that when faced with competing explanations for the same phenomenon, the simplest answer is likely the correct one. It's really more than that, though. It teaches us that we should start with the simplest theories, because simple theories are easy to verify. Simple solutions are easier to execute. In other words, we should avoid looking for excessively complex solutions to a problem and focus on what works given the circumstances. Occam's Razor can be used in a wide range of situations as a way of making really quick decisions or establishing viable theories without much or any real evidence. It works best as a mental model for making initial conclusions before the full scope of information can be obtained. Let me demonstrate how Occam's Razor can be used with UAPs. Ask yourself this: is the light in the sky an alien species that managed to find Earth, build a spaceship that seemingly defies the laws of physics just to show up and not even say hi? Or are you seeing the light from an aircraft? The simplest answer is, of course, it's most likely an aircraft. And we can very quickly verify this theory by jumping online and opening up any ADS-B tracker and seeing if there is in fact an aircraft where we saw the light. Now, within minutes, we have come up with a theory to a seemingly impossible to verify claim that we're able to actually validate or invalidate, letting us either put the issue to rest or to move on to the next theory. Had we gone with the alien theory first, well, we would be stuck until we found some way of verifying that an alien did indeed just buzz the planet, which means it would never be put to rest. Occam's Razor is also very powerful for everyday thinking, and not just for the skeptic. Occam's Razor tells us that we shouldn't get sucked into a whirlpool of paranoia after scrolling through WebMD. You have a headache. Oh crap, you have the Black Death. Sure, it is true that one of the symptoms of the Black Death is a headache. But using Occam's Razor, it's obviously much more likely that you didn't have enough caffeine today, you are dehydrated, or perhaps you slept weird. Normally, people tend to use Occam's Razor without even knowing what it is. But many other people have a habit of doing the exact opposite for some unknown reason. And we see this all the time, especially on social media. Are votes taking longer to count because the election is incredibly close? Or is it because a shadowy group needs more time to complete a super conspiracy to subvert democracy and steal the election? For those people, it's normally the conspiracy. Why do these people do this? Well, no real idea, but we can turn to Occam's Razor. And that says it's most likely because they are bored and they need some form of excitement in their lives. Remember, however, that Occam's Razor is a heuristic. It's a rule of thumb to suggest which hypothesis is most likely to be true. It doesn't prove or disprove. It simply leads you down the path that's most likely to be correct. Also, simplicity is often subject to heavy debate. So you and I might come to different conclusions when faced with a decision between the two same hypotheses. So, put Occam's Razor to the test as often as possible and see just how effective it can be. I will, however, warn you that excessive use of Occam's Razor can make you come off as quite the asshole, even if you are normally right. So it is in your best interest to use it often, but to keep your theories to yourself until verified. Anyways, have a great day.